Hello, and welcome to New Day Federal Way. I'm Kathy Arndt. Today we're at the Twin Lakes Golf and Country Club for Mayor Jim Farrell's 2016 State of the City Address. Last year was a busy year at the city and a lot of changes are underway. Some of the highlights of the year include the Downtown Development Project, the groundbreaking of the Performing Arts and Event Center, public safety, the community center, and new retail and office businesses that have moved into Federal Way. Over 200 business and community leaders packed the banquet room at Twin Lakes Golf and Country Club to hear about these issues and more. The mayor is about to share the state of our city, so let's join him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the mayor of the city of Federal Way, Mr. Jim Farrell.
Well, thank you, Becca, for that very kind introduction. I've really enjoyed the work we've done, and we've got a great partnership with the Chamber. Before I say anything else, though, I'd like to introduce my lovely wife, Wendy Farrell, and welcome her to this event. So, thank you for your love and support, and especially your patience. This is a great job. This is a great opportunity. I just want to say that, being your mayor is just a tremendous honor. And it's great to see this kind of crowd for for the State of the City and for one of our chamber events. So thank you very much for being here. This is a unique time of year in our country. It's a time of year when chief executive officers give a report on the health and status of their organization to key stakeholders. Today, we're here for the State of the City Address. But the same type of event is taking place in boardrooms, city halls, and state capitals around our great country. Ladies and gentlemen, I report to you today with confidence that the state of our city is strong. In the last 2 years, we've moved Federal Way forward with vision and a deliberate sense of urgency. The people of our community deserve no less. We've worked to build new and a strong sense of community and have begun the redevelopment of our downtown. We are laying the foundation and cornerstone for a robust town center that will create jobs and opportunity for this and future generations. The word opportunity is important because though success is never guaranteed, we must strive to give our residents every opportunity to build their version of the American dream. At Federal Way, we are strongest when we work together to provide opportunities to residents and business owners alike. And my friends, we have done exactly that. Federal Way has an active and professional city council who serves as great partners. I would like to take a moment to recognize their contribution to our city and publicly thank each of them for their dedicated service to each of us. Please stand and be recognized as I call your name. Our Deputy Mayor, Gene Burbidge. Council members Lydia Asefa-Dawson. Kelly Maloney, who was in Olympia today for her job, couldn't be here. But Susan Honda, Councilmember Susan Honda. Mark Kopeng, our recent addition. Martin Moore. And Deanie Duclos. Thank you all for the work you're doing to make Federal Way keep moving forward and for doing the heavy lifting to take ideas and vision into reality. We've come a long way in just 2 short years. When I first took office in 2014, our city was at a critical crossroads. Our downtown was blighted and our community was divided over whether we should build the Performing Arts and Event Center. Headlines read of increased crime, and our city felt to many like a rudderless ship facing a storm. What were we going to be? Could we really stop the dangerous slide of decline? City departments were overburdened, and directors took on 3 or 4 areas of responsibility out of necessity. Staff had been cut back dramatically, and key services, has suffered as a result. But you know what? Sometimes that's just where you need to be, in life, in business, in government, and even in politics. One often has to weather a storm in order to rebuild, and we've done exactly that. Though we certainly faced challenges, it was not all bad. We had a solid foundation to build upon, and one of our greatest resources was our tremendous staff, and they were up to the challenge. Let us not forget that we had just come through the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. When I took office in January 2014, the most pressing issue facing my administration was what to do about the Performing Arts and Event Center. The city had purchased the property, the project had entered a design phase, but serious questions remained over its financial viability. Could we actually afford to build this? That was the $32 million question, literally. Thanks to the extraordinary and objective work by the Blue Ribbon Panel, we saw that yes, it is a viable project. Today, the Performing Arts and Event Center is under construction. It will soon be a regional draw, showcasing national acts, and will host conferences and events throughout the year. Outside my office, next time you come, you'll see a countdown calendar. And that calendar right now reads 64 weeks until this project is completed. It's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. The Federal Way Coalition for the Performing Arts fundraising campaign has raised over $800,000, and we are currently preparing a request for proposal, or an RFP, for naming rights. We have secured roughly 2/3 of the $32 million needed for construction, and we continue to aggressively pursue alternative means of funding for the remaining cost. We're fortunate to have Teresa Yvonne as our PAC Executive Director. Teresa, you're doing a fantastic job. We're looking forward to our big opening night and many more thereafter. Teresa, where are you? Can you stand up for us? Thank you very much for taking this on. As important as the PAC is, right next door is a catalyst that launched the entire redevelopment of our downtown, Town Square Park. The impact of green space and walkability in our city center cannot be underestimated. Phase 1 of Town Square Park showed us what was possible, just on a smaller scale. Phase 2 will be completed this summer and is going to put our downtown on the map. I have an idea. Would you like to take a tour of the park right now? Let's go ahead and do that. All right, we're just right here on Piet van Rijkbauer Way, turning left. We're heading up to Town Square Park. We're going to meet John Hutton, our Parks Director. He's going to give me an update on the progress of the park. We're going up here to meet AmeriCorps volunteers, and we've got several dozen folks up there that are going to be helping us plant the trees. Wow, these are a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be. Look at that. Hey, John, how are you?
Earl, how are you today?
Good, good.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah? Talk to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got a big week here at the park. We have some big developments going on. As you can see here, we have about 70 giant trees.
Oh my
These
gosh.
are different varieties of maples, some cherry trees, some flowering cherry trees, lots of different varieties of maple, so we'll have color in both the springtime and the fall.
And I see we've got more trees on the flatbed there.
We do. We have a lot of different varieties of cedars, and so they'll be real pretty deep green year round. We have our plaza here where they're standing.
Yep.
This will be the great plaza.
Tell me about the walkway.
It's pervious concrete, which is really a great product because it helps the environment, it helps salmon down the line, it helps
Right.
keep our water cleaner. We don't end up with runoff in our storm drains.
Right.
So it's a really good product. This will be rolled and top dressed and reseeded. So it's a great place to come and take a walk
Yeah.
during the middle of your workday, get away.
That's great.
Get into this oasis of green, and it's going to be beautiful, so we're thrilled. And so by the time we open, it'll look like a golf course out here. This great lawn is going to pop.
You know, in the future, we're going to need a crane to get up there and decorate that tree.
We will, yeah. I'm thinking we may need to ask the fire department for help with their ladder truck. It's going to be big.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful tree. We're thrilled with that specimen, and it's really looking good. It's starting to thrive already. We have about 45 AmeriCorps volunteers here today.
Well, we really appreciate this. This is actually the second time you guys have done this. Yes. And it's really starting to take shape, so I really appreciate it. It's really going to be just a phenomenal place for the community to get together.
It is.
I can't even imagine how many thousands of people are going to be here.
It's going to
You
be
know,
fun.
I know.
Yeah,
And that's what's really good about sort of building the foundation of our downtown.
Absolutely.
That's happening right here.
We're thrilled.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
thank
gonna
you
be
so
fun.
much, John. I really
Absolutely. Thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come out anytime. I'll give you a tour and get you an update.
All right. Sounds
Awesome.
good. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Wow, out here in the rain and looking around, you know, it really just reminds me of just how far we've come. I am so excited about the development of Town Square Park. But you know, as I'm out here and I'm looking at how all this takes place, I look over at that property. the former Target site, and I realized that until we bought that site, we were not able to come to a final decision about what we were going to do with this property, and it really opened up the entire range of possibilities for us. So I'm tremendously excited, and it just reminds me of how far we've come and the steps and the investment that we've made as a community in this Town Square Park. It's going to be amazing moving forward. All right. Well, thank Mike Ziak for helping out with that video and Mike is recording this, and we do a lot of these little either mayor's minutes or we do New Day Federal Way, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it allows people in our community to see what's going on. And thank you, John Hutton, our Parks Director. We've got some exciting things. That was fun. And we wanted to be able to kind of show you what exactly is going on in our downtown, because it's happening right here, right now. As you saw in the video, the full utilization of the final 4-acre plan for Town Square Park could not have been realized without the purchase of the former Target site. Securing that property and the effect it had on our ability to control our own destiny downtown was the key that unlocked the Town Center redevelopment project. I can tell you Town Square Park is a project our community can most certainly be proud of. Now, in the video, I mentioned the thousands of people who will visit each year. I am confident that our new spray park will be a fun activity for the whole family to enjoy. Just imagine how great the water will feel on a hot summer day just a few months from now. You know, Town Square Park is not just one of many of our parks, beautiful parks and facilities used by thousands of residents and visitors each year. We have 32 parks in all in our city and many options for local families and visitors to our community. At Dumas Bay Center, 2015 was a record year. Revenue was up a historic 18% from the year before in 2014. And thanks to the renewed contract with the great folks at Center Stage Theater, we're expecting even better results in the future. I'd like to take a moment and thank Center Stage Board of Directors, some of whom I believe are here today, as well as Brian Wilson, my Chief of Staff, for the work they did to overcome the challenges and come together on an agreement that is mutually beneficial for everyone and continues our fantastic partnership. Additionally, the Federal Way Community Center had another banner year. They had over 385,000 visitors at the community center, which was an increase. Isn't that great? Amazing. Which is another increase of 4%. In fact, John and I, we do our workouts on the elliptical, and he just said, you know, we did an amazing job, you know, from the year before to last year, and then it's even an addition into that. We had a record number of day campers during the summer months, and rental revenues were up 25% from the previous year. So they're just doing a fantastic job, and we're proud of them. Our parks and facilities are a great draw for residents and visitors. Celebration Park continues to draw thousands of people each year for sporting events. These guests fill our hotels and they shop in our stores, generating millions of dollars in revenue to our city annually. Celebration Park showed us early on the benefits of public investment. Last year in my State of the City address, I quoted one of my favorite movies, from the Field of Dreams. We all know the quote, "If you build it, they will come." Well, that is exactly what we've done as a community and continue to do in our downtown. In addition to the transformational projects of the Performing Arts and Events Center and Town Square Park, we just finished a request for interest, an RFI process for the proposed hotel site adjacent to where the Performing Arts and Events Center is going to be. Last summer, we commissioned a hotel feasibility study, which showed us exactly what type of hotel our community can support. The results were positive for Federal Way. We are now entering a request for proposal stage, an RFP process, to solicit a hotelier to build that pack between the PAC and to build that hotel between the PAC and the Target building. If you haven't done so lately, I encourage you to drive downtown and see firsthand the progress taking place. You'll see the mountains that we've essentially excavated from where the PAC is going in. Later this year, most likely in the fall, we'll put forward an RFP, a request for proposal, for the remainder of the Target site property. We wanted to complete the hotel first and then move over to the Target site. It is our goal to create an urban village in our downtown, promoting walkability and giving our residents a reason to stay right here in Federal Way. Families will be able to enjoy world-class entertainment, shopping, a fine meal, and not have to be stuck in traffic for 30 minutes in order to do so. Let me talk to you about perhaps the most important investment, as well as my most serious responsibility as your mayor, keeping our residents safe. Reducing Federal Way's crime rate has a significant impact, not only on the way we view ourselves as a community, but positively affects our quality of life and our image in the region. The opening of a police substation downtown and adding officers to meet the demands of our growing and diverse community were positive first steps. We're now beginning to see the dividends. In 2015, the overall crime rate decreased by 6% in comparison to 2014. We saw dramatic reductions in residential burglary, which is down 30%, fraud down 25%, auto theft down 19%, larceny down 6%, and commercial burglary down 5%. These are what they refer to when I was a King County prosecutor as quality of life crimes, and these are dramatically reducing. I know we have members of our police department here with us today. I'd like to ask you to please stand and be recognized. These brave men and women. These brave men and women get up every day, put on a badge and a vest, and put their lives on the line to keep us safe. They deserve our appreciation, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. So thank you very much. Thank you to serve our community. We have a beautiful community with so much to offer, and others are beginning to take notice. In order to change the paradigm of our city, we needed to first invest in ourselves. Those investments are reverberating throughout the community. We've seen growth in office markets. The Kirkland-based developer MJR has purchased multiple office buildings on the East Campus and has actively promoted and signed leases with companies such as Prominence Health, which opened a facility which could employ nearly 100 people. Celebration Center will soon see the opening of Legendary Donuts. I know, soon. They're great. Chick-fil-A and a new fitness center, which ironically is right next to the donut shop. Well played, Fitness Center, well played. 2015 saw the sale of the City Center Plaza, what was known previously as the Kratzenberg property. And new owner Mark McDonald is making changes right away. He submitted permits for improved signage, lighting, and landscaping. He has also entered into an agreement to build a new establishments like Mod Pizza. Cafe Rio is also moving to Federal Way and will open later this year directly across the street from the mall. In the Commons Mall, Honor Coffee will replace the former Starbucks, and Red Robin will soon begin demolition on their site and rebuild at their current location. This past weekend, we saw the grand opening of Hong Kong Market, and I'm pleased to announce that 7-Eleven Corporation has relocated their regional offices to Federal Way, citing our low cost of business and prime location. We need to share this great news. That begins by repositioning Federal Way in the region and letting people know the exciting direction our city is headed. That is why I'm excited to introduce to you today representatives from Rusty George Creative. Thank you very much for being here, Rusty. Last fall, the City Council passed, and my office will manage, a rebranding effort to clearly define who we are and where we're going. Rusty George Creative has been hired to assist us in these efforts. Be sure to speak with a member of his team and share your thoughts about our community on your way out. One of the most important ways we can prove our image and provide greater opportunity is to bring a university campus to Town Center. Last fall, the City Council approved funding for a needs assessment to determine not only the viability of bringing a campus to Federal Way, but also what type of educational programs a potential campus would or should offer. This is an incredibly important step and builds on the momentum and interest we have received from schools like Washington State University and University of Washington, Tacoma. The study will be completed later this year. We are confident that Federal Way is a perfect location and a university would be wise to expand to our city. Locating a campus will infuse the area with hundreds of new people each day. It will have a dramatic impact, economic benefit, similar to what Tacoma has experienced with UWT, and before that, UPS Law School in that downtown. Business will see a surge of new patrons in an area which is largely just vacant just 2 short years ago. Creating opportunity is not just reserved for the fortunate, though. On the evening of November 11th, 2014, I stood before a packed room, about this many people actually. I stood before that packed room at a local church, It was a dark and windy night, and I made the commitment to Sound Alliance and their partners to work in partnership to come up with a true solution for a day shelter for the people that were less fortunate. It took many months, and in fact, the better part of 2015, but with committed partners like Senator Mark Miloscia, we were able to secure $100,000 of state funding. We are now on a pathway to turn that commitment into a reality. We will never reach our full potential in our country until we arrest the downward cycle and desperate situation of homelessness. We must continue to help people claw a way back to self-sufficiency and dignity. We're working hard to bring jobs and investment to our community, but it is equally important that we extend a helping hand to those that are less fortunate among us. After significant work, Sound Alliance and their partners are well on their way to opening the first day center in Federal Way. When that happens, it will be a victory for this entire community. Now, at City Hall, my administration has transformed departments, ensuring a more efficient operation and services to our constituents and key stakeholders alike. We have continued to strive for openness and transparency in government, and we're working hard to continue to bring city government to the people through programs like New Day Federal Way, hosted by our very own Kathy Arndt, and our Neighborhood Connection meetings. We continually to work to shine Federal Way up like a brand new penny, and we now have 15 tastefully wrapped utility boxes throughout our city, adding art to drab street corners. We've continued our popular community events like last year's 25th anniversary celebration, where we dedicated the new Pete von Reichbauer Way. And Pete, let's acknowledge Pete and all his service to the community. We hosted a 4-day-long carnival and heard great music from the Federal Way Symphony. You know, Federal Way remains committed to our veterans. In December, I commissioned a Veterans Monument Committee. The committee will be chaired by former council member and West Point graduate Bob Selski. Their goal is to seek design options, raise money, and determine the site and scale of a veterans monument to be placed in our very own Town Square Park. If you are a veteran, would you please stand up so we can thank you for our service to our nation? Please stand. Thank you for your service. You know, in my first two State of the City addresses, we ended this way, and it's kind of fun to, when you end things up, to do an unveiling. And that's a tradition I want to keep doing. In 2014, we unveiled the beautiful painting found in the Brook Lake Community Center that now hangs in our council chambers. Last year, I read the warm letter from our 41st President, George H.W. Bush, congratulating our community on the 25 years since we became a city, along with the new digital welcoming sign greeting people as they enter our city. It's just beautiful. So now, the reveal this year, without further delay, I'd like to introduce you to our new website, the new cityofFederalWay.com. Our new website is much more user-friendly and makes doing online business with Federal Way a breeze. Whether you're seeking a permit to build, paying court fees, or simply looking for information, our new website is much more user-friendly and streamlined. I'm proud of the direction of our community is headed, and I'm truly excited for the progress we'll continue to make in 2016. You know, Milton Berle once said, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Well, I hear opportunity knocking, and as you've heard today, we are creating that opportunity right here, right now. Now let us get back to work. Thank you very much.
So there you have it. The state of our city is strong. According to Mayor Farrell, we have a vibrant future with a lot of work ahead of us. If you'd like to stay connected with your city, like the City of Federal Way and Mayor Jim Farrell's Facebook pages. You can also stay up to date on all the developments of the Performing Arts and Event Center, Town Square Park, and more at the City of Federal Way's new website. To watch video of city meetings and events, check out Federal Way's YouTube channel. And of course, you can turn to Federal Way TV Channel 21 on Comcast Cable. I'm Kathy Arndt, and we hope to see you next time right here on New Day Federal Way.